Hello, everyone. Welcome to ELI, the place where you get your daily dose of inspiration for entrepreneurship. And today we have with us Anirudh, who is the founder of Trailytics, which is an AI-powered data aggregation and analytics platform. Hi, Anirudh. Welcome to the show.
Hey, hi, Priya. Hi. Thank you so much for inviting me.
To start with, Anirudh, I would request you to introduce yourself to our audience and tell us a little bit about your journey prior to entrepreneurship, like what all things you did, where did you study, how was your early life, where all did you work, and how did you arrive at entrepreneurship?
Great. So it's been a long journey now. So way back when I was in my graduation doing in engineering and electronics, I often wanted to be part of the business. That idea has been that I want to do something of my own. That was part when I was an engineer. And way back, I got a campus placement, worked in Infosys for a long time. Took 2 years in the similar tech enabled domain specifically. And going forward, I realized that since that kick was always there with me, I wanted to do something in tech spaces specifically. So while I was working in Infosys, I got a chance to work with clients which is e-commerce based. And this is e-commerce was booming then. It was digitally that everybody moving towards digital, and post demonetization, it grew fastly. So in 2016, while working on with one of my clients, I got an idea that how we can help them optimize their business journey.
Mhm.
Being a techie guy, it was easy for me to take that. And while doing a job, I took an pause on my working. Took MBA from Lucknow. I'm Lucknow, and in my MBA itself, I started working, making my own team, working on the solution, and worked on a solution which was helping brand as big as Procter& and Gamble, Unilever to optimize their business with respect to e-commerce.
Mhm.
And that's how I got my first client while I was in my MBA itself. And post passing it out, I make it a complete functional business. Have tried to work with starting with my PNG. I tried a very small problem. I solved a very small problem. They wanted to understand how their products are doing in Amazon, and that's where I got a kick. I got my company registered, and that's how in 2020 it began. And this 4 years has been tremendous. While my family is from a business background, so I understand how the nitty gritties of the business. I also worked on some of the other areas, not only on analytics, but also on marketing services, or even you talk about creative and content, etc. So that's how the complete e-commerce journey started. Since we are a tech domain company, we are not just limited to e-commerce. I just thought, why just limit to yourself to e-commerce? Let's focus on pharma. Let's focus on automobile industry. That's where I started expanding, because a data mining can be done anywhere, and that's how Trailytics begins. And in this last 4 years, we happen to grow globally, working with bigger brands as big as Mondelez, as big as P&G, as big as Unilever, solving their issues which are data related. And that's all. That's about me. That's about my company. And that's thank you. I think we have been doing good. Our vision is to go global, work on multiple segments. And again, with starting of machine learning, AI, that thing has gone very smoothly. So kudos to my team. Kudos to my complete family of my Trailytics. And let's see how it goes.
Got it. So, so every company has some of its forte, like the specializations. Uh, so even analytics is quite a broad domain. There are multiple areas
Correct.
in analytics. So, what would you say when you approach a client? Is there a specific set of problems that you are good at solving, or how do you pitch them?
Exactly. So the thought is very simple. As you rightly said, analytics is a vast domain, and there are n number of companies working on it. The way we approach is, first thing is, let's suppose an example of e-commerce. In e-commerce, we can see we have Amazon, Flipkart. Initially, that was growing in India, but With the expansion of quick commerce, specifically on Blinkit, Zepto, Swiggy, Big Basket, everybody's looking for 10 minutes delivery. And since the scale is huge, a brand as big as Ariel, yeah, is listed across platforms, right? You wanted to understand how their journey looks like. What is my competition doing? What pricing I should be keeping up? What discount I should run? How should my campaign performance should look like? The first approach we took is we do a root cause analysis. When we talk about root cause analysis, we just don't give you a dashboard. We talk about what is an area of you need to focus on. So ideally, the problem that we have solved is, whereas there are platforms, there are companies which are giving you a raw data, the pricing, discount, etc., of your availability, but they are not solving the real problem. The problem our account manager is facing is that data is in silos. There is supply chain data is sitting in one direction. The availability data is sitting in other direction. Your marketing data is sitting in other direction. And ideally, the time that majority of the team works on is just collating the data and finding out the problem, what went wrong. And that happens at the end of the month, right? We did in a real time. We integrated everything together. Since we're a data mining company, we focus on creating a solution which is giving you a bird eye view for entire business. So from the way we enable the businesses, we work a customized solution. We sit with a brand, understand their business problem, and create an automated root cause analysis tool which talks about a real pain point. For example, if my sales is going down, why that is sales is going down? Is it my marketing which is affecting my business? Is it my supply chain which is affecting my business? Or is it my problem with the customer, basically, or Amazon, Flipkart, or Big Basket, or Zepto? So the CAM or the key account manager directly know whom to talk to. Even the leadership team, they know how is my sales going, how is my business going, and they can call out a real time of action in a single platform itself. That's an approach we take. And I think that is being taken very seriously by the brands. And going forward with machine learning enable, we also talk about how we can optimize your campaign, what marketing budget you should spend on, what should be your inventory for the next 7 days with the platform. So they know beforehand that what need plan to be taken using the this is a forecasting methodology that we follow. And that's
Mhm.
how the solutions are we are trying to provide to the customers or
Got
the
it.
brands.
Got it. Uh, Can you tell us about the challenges in the whole logistics? So, the way I see it, I have had similar experiences in corporates where I was asked to produce some data of my own departments. Sometimes I did not have the data with myself, so sometimes I have to, create that data. Or what some of the people do is they fudge data, they create dummy data, and there are also a lot of chain layers of approvals, and you cannot simply, it's not a straightforward process. It can take months to, get data from, some departments. So how do you kind of bypass those things? How do you, overcome those challenges?
You answered that question very correctly also. It altogether, the thought is very simple. Why do you depend on person to give a data? You should talk about getting integrated with the source. For example, the data mostly comes from your SAP or ERP or CRM. We directly do a real-time integration with them. Okay. And we sit with an IT team to make sure that all the standard process is followed. There is a complete ISO certified company we are. So we do a real-time mitigation. We are partnered with SAP. We are partnered with the top CRM companies. So we do a real-time integration with them and you get a real-time data. Once you have a real-time data, you're not dependent on anybody. You don't have to bypass. And that's a beauty of data mining. You collect the data and then you do a analysis on that. So the problem is getting the data at one place first.
Okay,
Once you have a data, you can create anything out of that.
got it. And since the enterprises are sending data outside their company premises, there are chances of, data breach and lot of things happening. these days about data getting hacked and stolen. Even
Right.
Aadhaar data got stolen by entities which are outside India. So how do you first of all take measures to action on that? And if that happens, what would be your countermeasures?
The first thought is we make sure that your data is important as for us. So we first make sure that we present our all certificates which are required by a company. So for example, you should be ISO certified. Your data should be not be looking sitting in any of your local system. It should be all on clouds. So all the data privacy is, for example, we use AWS, right? So all the privacy issues, all the things are tackled by Amazon itself. Secondly, we have our own strong protocols. We make sure that we have our offshore data sitting with only the required team itself, and it's on the cloud. So all the required protocols are taken very seriously in us. And with the certificate, once you wanted to get a certificate, you have to follow all the compliances. So we make sure first we do that, and that's how our journey has been wonderful till now. We work with all top brands, and we follow the same protocol for everybody.
Okay. Next thing I wanted to discuss was around AI. I think you would agree that after AI has come in, the space of data analytics has changed massively because the AI models have become very intelligent, and for some of the processes, you don't need human at all. Of all the things that AI can do, I think they're very good at data analytics.
Correct.
So how has your thought process and your company's processes changed, and how are you using AI to do the same job?
Absolutely, Priya. So, I think the company processes the way I think the brand or the customer is also evolving is they don't just want to look at dashboard now. Nobody wants to have a time to look at the dashboard. The way we have approached using how we can make sure that a team gets the real benefit of the data. We have integrated our own co-pilots which integrate with the dashboard and give you the highlights. For example, what you should do in every day, what are the five things you need to do for seeing that dashboard? So ideally, they were looking at the dashboard and doing the data mining before that. The how we are using AI or machine learning is we use that data to share them the highlights of the day. These are the five things the brand need to do, take an action today. That's the beauty of AI. They convert the data into the required text data or the highlights of the day, and it becomes easy to take a action right now. So AI can solve the way you want to look at the data, but I still believe that creating that data is important. That AI cannot do. Understanding that data, what need to be fed to our AI is also very important, and that's where human intelligence comes into picture. So while it can ease your life, but it cannot just remove you from the system. That's what we believe, and that's how I think the customer should also start believing in that. It cannot. It is just a buzzword, but I believe it will absolutely solve your problem in the longer run, but cannot remove or dependency of human being.
Got it. And I think when you see data points from different industry and different companies, you also get a sense of where the industry is moving, and
Correct.
you can spot out the new trends when they emerge. So especially in e-commerce industry you're operating, can you give us some of the new trends that you have observed through your intelligence layers?
Exactly. So that the journey from 2020 with after COVID, everybody is looking towards the quick in things, which is coming in quick commerce. Quick commerce is coming into picture, and they are giving you a 10 minutes delivery, 15 minutes delivery. Now, to make sure that your product is visible to the customer across all dark stores, because they work on dark store model. So the thought is you need to have a clear visibility across all dark stores, and dark stores are humongous in nature. Currently, Blinkit operate around 900 dark stores. So to your make sure your SKU or your product is available on dark stores is very important. So that's where importance of analytics is coming into in quick commerce also. And the trend will absolutely boost from quick commerce to a super quick commerce going forward. Even Amazon is coming towards quick commerce. Flipkart is already launched in Flipkart Minutes. So the business will go towards availability in real time. And that's where the importance of analytics will grow as soon as possible. As the bigger the data, bigger the channels, the higher the insights you need. Where should I focus? Which particular city I should focus? And that's the beauty of analytics on quick commerce will come into picture going forward.
Can you tell us about your biggest challenges? Like when you started out, you were just a single person solving problems for companies. I understand that
Correct.
being a techie, you can do that, but being an entrepreneur is a different ball game altogether. Finding right people, how do you do that? How do you find good people? How do you retain them? And how do you manage the people?
I think you asked all my pain points. So just to start with, honestly, I believe business or entrepreneurship is all about the relationship. And to make sure that you had a good relationship, you have to be not just a tech guy. You have to be your brain should be working across segments. How you can make your team work in the right approach. And I think with this current post COVID uh, team, what we have felt is the Gen Zs, which they called, they are super freaky now. They just want to work in a minimalistic way. They wanted to be work from home. Everything has to be thought of that. So the our approach has been very simple, and I'm still learning every day. I have to deal with a different problem, but the base is to have a good relationship with the team, understand their pain point, and ask them to work to show the vision of the company also. Nobody just works for money now. They wanted to work on how the company is also growing. What are the roles and responsibility they are getting? So make sure that they are within the system. They are valued, and they are fairly uh, visible to the client as well, right? It is not just that you do everything. So you have to trust your team, and that's how we have been growing. And I'm still struggle with lot of problems where I need to focus on, and that team comes up and talk about we can do this, we can do that, and that's how uh, the things have been till now. I'm still hoping I can do better in the next year. Let's see.
Got it. Uh, Next aspect, I was actually curious to ask this. How do you price your services? So I think you would agree that most of the services companies struggle with pricing. So what they end up doing is they charge based on the man hours spent. But I've seen good companies who charge on the outcomes. So outcome based pricing is a good model. So curious to understand, how do you go about pricing, charging your clients?
So ideally, the thought is since we're not a SaaS company only, we try to make a customized solution. And when it comes to customized solution, we have our own setup base of certain things which will be fixed cost, and we make sure that we understand the business problem. And I believe once you solve the problem of the customer, the service cost depends on what what level of profits you're going to bring to them. So it
Okay.
depends on customer to customer. And since we are mostly on the service based and mixed of SaaS plus service, as because it becomes a customized solution, then becomes not a problem for them, because we have a fixed cost which is very minimalistic in nature with respect to my competition. And other services which the customization we charge based on the number of man hours itself, how much things we are going to do. And we keep on giving up service basis, that because they're also happy because they keep on interacting with the team, they make on customizing solution. So that is the only way to work with them.
Okay. And
going forward.
Got it. Uh, Sorry, I had lost internet in between. So here is my final question for
Okay.
you. Tell us about entrepreneurship. Like, how has been your experience with entrepreneurship? Uh, so many of the people who jump onto entrepreneurship, they have this idea that it's a fancy thing to do. You meet a lot of investors, cool people, drive fancy cars, and it's cool. So everybody thinks it's cool. But I personally know it is not that cool. There are a lot of sleepless night. You get a lot of stress, and you lose out on your health, and a lot of side effects of entrepreneurship. So
Agreed, Priya.
yeah, tell us about what is your experience, and what is the right expectation that you would have others to have, you'd want others to have, so that before joining the entrepreneur path, they are not, mistaken, they're not, hallucinating about, something else, which is entrepreneurship, not.
I'm with you on this, Priya. I think now the fancy thing that we have shown is just one of the 1% of the people who have done good work. But what about 99%? Right? So I believe that entrepreneur is good if you know how to swim in the ocean, because you will be thrown in an ocean and you have to win by on your own way. So if you don't know how to swim, you will drown. If you want to learn to swim, you will do that. So the thought is very clear that if you know how to deal with the struggles, if you know you have some ways of improving yourself every day, if you know how to make relationship with the team, or if you know how to make sure that you are you are cutting down your professional and personal life, then I don't think so there will be a problem. I'm I still struggle every day, honestly. I am also not, I also don't know. I've been part of my I also worked for 8 years in big MNCs. I had a good life. I was earning good. But I want to do something of my own. And when I jumped into this, every day is a new day for me. Every day I have to make sure that I try to improve myself. That is important. So anybody who is able to improve every day, who can live with a thought that anything can happen on that day. Is what if you're at the peak, you might slip down. If you are at the bottom, you can go again any day. So I believe have that courage, and कुछ भी हो सकता है. That is never a thought.
Got it. Well, on this note, we will close the session. Thanks for joining us, Anirudh. We got to
Okay.
learn a lot of things about entrepreneurship, about analytics, and thanks for sharing those trends in e-commerce with us. Pleasure speaking with you, and my best wishes for Trailytics.
Thank you, Priya. Thank you so much for this.